Alright, what's up guys? I'm going to show you the most optimal keybinds for Fortnite in Chapter 2. Alright, we're going to start off with the building keybinds. Now, I'd personally recommend using your wall and ramp on your two side mouse buttons over anything else, because you're going to use those more often than anything. And now for your floor and pyramid, you need to try and make sure you don't use your ring finger or your pointer finger while using these keybinds. If you use your ring or pointer finger, you're gonna have to move your finger off of A or D, which is limiting your movement while fighting people. So I would recommend making your floor and pyramid C and V. It doesn't matter which one you use for either one, but then you can use your thumb to click C and V and not take your fingers off of W, A, S, and D. You might think that it's gonna be hard to use that with your thumb, but if you angle your keyboard right and you have like half your thumb on the spacebar and the point of your thumb on C and V, it's not that hard once you get used to it. Now that your building keybinds are out of the way, the other main key you're going to use is to crouch, in my opinion. Now, I would recommend using left shift or left control, because you don't have to take your fingers off of W, A, S, and D, because you're using your pinky. Almost every fight you get into, you're going to be crouching a lot, so you don't want to have to take your fingers off of your movement keys to crouch. Then you have full movement throughout the whole fight. You can build, crouch, do whatever you want to without having to take your fingers off the movement keys. So that's why I'd recommend using left shift or left control for crouching. Now for editing, this one can kind of be your own opinion. It's going to be really hard to make another keybind without taking your fingers off the movement keys. And I would recommend using F or E for editing. Personally, I use F to edit and E to use or interact. So I would use that because I'm comfortable with it, but whatever you want to use is fine. For editing, I would just recommend using E or F. Let's just say you use E to edit, then I'd use F for interacting or using, and then vice versa. If you use F for edit, you could use E for interacting or using. Now for my weapon keybinds, personally, it might not be the best thing, but I use Q for my pickaxe. I've always used it, and I've tried changing it, but it's so like built into my brain that I can't not have Q as my pickaxe. But for the actual weapon bar, mine goes 1, 3, 4, 5, and X. I don't use 2 because it feels awkward to me. If you use your middle finger to go to 2, you have to take your finger off the W key, which is terrible. And if you use your ring finger, you have to like move it up and like tilt your whole hand to go over the W key, and that's awkward. And in the same way for your pointer finger. So personally, I leave out 2. I don't want to use it, and I just go to 1, 3, 4, 5, and X. I usually put my AR in the first slot, then my pump, SMG, sniper, and heal, or AR, pump, sniper, and then like my miscellaneous stuff in the last 2. Those are really the only keybinds that you need to like worry about though. Your other stuff you can kind of put wherever, like your map and emotes and all that. Like I have my map on M and my marking on B. It's just like whatever you prefer for those, but for your main keys, like your movement and building and all that, just try and make sure you don't have to take your fingers off the movement keys while building. You just get a full range of motion, then you don't have to go and like stop moving from side to side or stop moving in a certain direction while building. And make sure you have sprint by default on. If you don't, I don't know why you wouldn't, but that just, yeah, put sprint by default on. That's pretty much it for this video though. If you enjoyed it or helped it at all, leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Use my code NotUnShop, code GhostDXI, supports me and I really appreciate it. That's it for this video though. I'll see you guys next time. Later.
Bring it right back to the ends and I'm back on the transplant. Sold down shows out back for revenge. They don't really wanna get it when I tap into the vision. When I'm back on the raps on tracks like I am not one of you, they never heard of me. Path is not written, so do not refer to me. They gon' be feeling this for an eternity. Money, ridiculous, second absurdities. And now I'm back for revenge. I'm leaving you on the bench and I don't get no sleep.